Another massive earthquake in Nepal. The 7.3 magnitude quake brings more death, more destruction to the already fragile country, and it creates new challenges for aid agencies trying to get help to those who are in need. UNICEF has been working to get food and supplies to children since last month's deadly earthquake. Canadian Kent Page is a member of UNICEF's emergency response team. He was actually in a school doing an assessment when today's quake struck, and he joins me on the phone from Kathmandu. So, Kent, describe for me that moment when the earth shook again.
Well, that was a terrifying moment, I must tell you. We were inside the school checking for damage from the previous earthquake to see if that school would be, safe enough for children to go back to or not. There were lots of cracks in the school, and we had already determined it would not be safe to. When all of a sudden this earthquake hit, and it hit very hard, very loud, very fast, it was terrifying. And for about a second or two, you didn't know what was actually happening. We all ran eventually into the courtyard, small courtyard, and that courtyard is surrounded by 3 buildings of the school. And the earthquake went on for about a minute, although it felt like a day. Everything's shaking, lots of noise, and honestly, I thought the building was going to collapse around us, on top of us. Fortunately, it did not. And then we ran down to the street to another school we had just assessed earlier to check on some kids we had met there. They were in the playground. Fortunately, those kids were safe and okay. But it's been quite a terrifying day, particularly for the Nepali people who have already been through so much, 2 earthquakes in just over 2 weeks.
Just last month I was speaking with another aid worker who talked about the trauma that children were experiencing, afraid to go, back into a building, etc. So this other quake now hits, and it's just been a few weeks since the last one. What were the messages you were getting from the children and what they were saying, what they were doing?
Well, honestly, in the school we had just assessed earlier, we were chatting with the children, and I asked them, I said, are you guys okay from that first earthquake? And they said, yes, but we're still scared there'll be another one, but we hope there won't be another one, because we're still scared and we're anxious. And then 15 minutes later, this one hit. So I can only imagine what children are going through. They're anxious, they're scared. Many people, maybe all of Nepal, will be sleeping outside tonight. I'll be sleeping outside tonight. Children aren't in school because schools aren't open. They're not safe. Most schools are not safe. So we've got a lot of challenges to deal with, and UNICEF is working around the clock to get humanitarian assistance to the Nepali people who really need it. And if I could add, just thanks to all the Canadians who have donated to UNICEF.ca or other aid organizations. It's a real investment in people here in Nepal who really need that.
We know that Canadians have very big hearts when it comes to helping and considering others. I do want to ask you how this newest quake compounds the challenges you were already facing.
Well, it makes things that were already difficult even more difficult. We face challenges of access to remote communities, but we're getting supplies out to those people as quick as we can. Of course, we've heard that there are at least 38 deaths from today's earthquake. We've heard that more buildings have collapsed in different parts of Nepal. I don't know about any road damage yet, but yeah, certainly the challenges were big already, and now they're even bigger.
Final question for you, Kent. You say you're going to be sleeping outside tonight. Describe for me the conditions you're dealing with. Have you got a tent? Do you have a team? Or are there other people who are, cramming into that space as well to feel safe? What's the plan?
Well, the plan is for a bunch of us to dive into a tent together, but we're not really the concern. The concern is the Nepali people. Many of them are sleeping under plastic sheeting, not the best of conditions. Last night it rained very heavily. It looks like a clear sky right now, so hopefully there'll be no rain. But it's the Nepali people that we're really concerned about. We're okay here, all the aid workers. It's the people that we're here to help.
I want to thank you for your time and the time you've given me out of a busy day. Kent, I appreciate it. You take care.
Thank you for calling. Appreciate it.
That's Kent Page with UNICEF's emergency response team in